Tonight we have D'Angelo and Grant with us, and they're right here. So rather than do this long speech, we can have a conversation if you want.
Well, fantastic. Thank you very much, Todd.
Is this your first time at WEFT? I know it's your first time on WEFT sessions.
Certainly mine.
Is indeed. Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
So
Hold
these
your
guys
applause till the end. Thanks.
have prepared an hour of music and conversation for us, and we can introduce you some more or go straight into it, however you want to do it.
Well, that's the thing is that, I heard about this a couple days ago, and I'm like, what are we going to do on the radio? We're going to play a bunch of music, and then I thought, I can talk for an hour. That's not a problem at all.
So lawyer jokes.
A lot of jokes.
All right, so all these guys walking to the bar. No, I'm sorry. I don't get paid to be a comedian, thankfully. That's not my day job.
We have other shows on WEFT that I think are more tailored for
That's
that. So
probably for the best. We should keep it to them. Yeah.
WEFT Follies or something.
Right.
Well, my name's D'Angelo. I am a musician in the area. I'm a hip-hop artist. My stage name, of course, is Black Mage. If you can't tell, I'm a huge nerd. So I'm, way into the comic books, the Final Fantasy, it's that sort of thing. But I don't feel as if I'm so esoteric that I belong in that category. So.
Honestly, when I saw Mage, I wasn't even thinking Mage like that. I was thinking, it was short for
Something else.
something less gamer. So that's actually
wrong.
really cool.
You'd be wrong.
You'd
That was,
be
in
wrong.
fact,
Yes,
definitely a reference to
Am
magic.
I a
and-
gamer?
I can't say anything. I'm as much, if not more so, in some years. So,
I guess then the question becomes, how did you guys align forces?
jeez. So last September we did a show actually at Air Records that was a 2.5 hour play that we wrote in a couple days, explaining as much. It was very interesting.
You have a
thing,
2.5
experiments.
hour origin story in the form of a play?
It was
What are you gonna do?
hip-hop with Shakespearean elements. Yeah, we're both theater people.
I've
And
done a lot of
Is
theater.
2.5 is WEF sessions going to be enough time for you to do your?
I told you we could talk for
We
an
can
hour.
ramble. That's
I'm
not
thinking
a problem.
If
It's,
you're used to 2.5 hour plays, we may need to shove
We're
aside
we're
some
not
of the
used
other.
to. That's probably
I
that was
finished up
a one-time
Othello like
event.
it was a year ago.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
We're not new.
Next page. we're here more so to talk about the music and things I think that we're doing now and working with a lot of people like Mike Ingram who works here. I know.
Never heard of him.
him. Never. Yeah. Wow. Surprise.
Never been to the Cover Up. Never been
Oh.
to Cowboy Monkey.
Wow. You should really go sometime. It's
Never been to
fantastic.
Champagne.
Wow.
I had someone say that to me the other day.
Oh.
They're like, the Great Cover-Up? And I'm like, the 23rd
Third
Yeah,
annual?
this year, I don't know if it's getting it wasn't in the News Gazette apparently on the calendar,
Really?
but I came to WEFT and the DJ the other night was here and I said I just came from the Cover Up and he said what's that? And I just like you I said the 23rd annual Cover Up and
The
he said what's
one-
that? And it's like
Hard for
you're a
something to happen,
DJ
23
and
years.
23rd annual doesn't tip you off that it's one thing to say oh, you know what? I haven't lived here long.
Right.
Tell me about the 23 years of the cover-up. But when somebody clarifies the 23rd annual cover-up and you say, what's that? It's like,
nothing.
You weren't listening at all. You don't have to tell us about people not listening. We work in food service.
Yeah.
Yeah, some things go right over people's heads.
ooh.
We won't get into the food
It's when you get to the
service.
fifth
Well, if you
person
need
at
to
the
vent,
table.
you got the hour to do whatever you want with. But
There's
I've been really looking to get this off my
always
chest.
time to vent. But no, we're not gonna vent on that. Besides, I have a couple mixtapes and a CD coming up in the near future, and there's actually going to be a track on one of them called "Waiting." That's where I'm going to vent.
that's not a Smashing Pumpkins cover.
No. Surprisingly enough, yeah.
It's a moment in the life of a server.
Right, it's just
trapped in
waiting.
time.
And the one of my favorite stories about this is me asking it because he had just told me the idea. He's like, "Oh man, you know how we love our jobs, not love,
Cherish.
Right, that was the word. Thank you, Todd. Man, this is
You know how we need our
friends. All right, so
I'm a thesaurus.
you do this professionally, don't you? This is fantastic.
I make all the money I make on this show from my thesaurus consulting.
I can tell it's the three suits you've got, one over another, that really, no doubt in my mind. But he's telling me about this idea, and he's like, just waiting. I'm like, okay, so, what's this? Just waiting. I'm just waiting, man. I'm at a restaurant. I'm like, so explain this idea a little bit more. He's like, well, you walk into your job, and now you're waiting to be sat. And now you're waiting for them to order. And now you're waiting. I'm like, oh, the ultimate purgatory. Right. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's
You're just waiting the whole time.
Which circle is this?
jeez.
I guess purgatory doesn't really have circles. It's just hell that has circles,
I
right?
suppose.
Yeah. Or I guess it depends on which
tale
mythos
you're
going
going,
for.
Dante or
Dante was kind of what I was.
I figured as much.
Which turned into a really good video game, by the way.
Just saying.
Everything tonight's going to come full circle, huh?
Video games or comic books.
You're
I mean,
welcome.
you can
We'll
solve
be
the
here for
world
an
with
hour.
pretty much those two things. It's all a metaphor.
All right. Well, couple things I think. Was there some stuff that you wanted to perform, maybe, or show a song, or do a little bit of poetry or spoken word?
Well, I suppose if we're here for an hour, we got some
Might as
music.
well.
We can do some chatting. We could start with a song, or we could do some spoken word. You could do something live. I could do something live. You want to start?
Do you want to start with something off the cuff, or do that maybe later?
Can I actually ask one question before
Yeah,
you start?
sure.
While you are performing, I'm going to get back online and tell people, hey, if you haven't tuned in already, tune in. Like I just said into the mic, but on mine.
Right.
Is there, because Mike already has a link for you, but, we go with the link we have. So is there a page identifying the two of you that you want to make sure I use when I tell people what to tune in for?
Indeed. There is a organization I'm starting in the area to help organize and promote art.
Okay.
That is The Roof Presents. And so you got The Roof Presents, facebook.com/The Roof Presents, The Roof Presents, tumblr.com, twitter.com/The Roof Presents.
So should I say D'Angelo and Grant from The Roof Presents, or?
Feel free. I'm running it. He's a member. We're both involved. Yes.
One of our answers the other night at trivia, we didn't know whether to say Scandal featuring Patty Smythe or Patty Smythe and Scandal or Warrant.
What a debacle!
It's like, what? None of those are actually the right answer? Never mind. But hierarchy is... I didn't know until the other day. I was watching, and I swear I'll shut up after this. I was watching an old Password, and they guessed Dawn, and they guessed Tony Orlando, and the answer they specifically wanted, I think, was Dawn featuring Tony Orlando, and they wouldn't give it to him, and it's like...
That is so...
But-
Alex Trebek would have given it to him.
He better!
He was a homie.
Alex
He
Trebek
was
is a
homie.
good man.
He had your back. Yeah.
Well, I hope to find that out one of these days, but unless he brings back Classic Concentration, I
Dream
probably...
may never come to fruition. That's,
All right, so Mike is very eager to hear anything musical without
Mike.
me on it. So here we go.
All right. So I guess the first thing I'm going to do is a little bit of a cappella. I'm just going to go into one of my tangents. I've been writing music for a while now, and I've phased through different styles. I've had my transitions. And I recently finished up a song that is going to be on a promotional that I just finished up. I'll be giving them out at my show. I have a show on Thursday at Cowboy Monkey. If you feel free, it's called Feel Free.
enough said.
We'll be giving out that promotional. It's called Tag You're It. And there's a song on there called If I Don't Win. Now, in lieu of playing the actual track and going through it, I wanted to do it a cappella. It's a little more personal to me.
Definitely has a different energy.
Yeah. It's a little heavier. I really don't think it's that heavy, though. It starts off that way, but it's my perception of the world as I advanced into it, starting to realize my talents. I don't know. I guess I'll just get started. And so it begins as such. I'm a victim of deja vu. The only problem is they all come true. I saw a world in flames as I knelt, crying over a grave, screaming, Grandma, the world's gone insane. I've lost my mind to these times, my girl to this world, my family to these rhymes, and my heart to be sure. I came up with a plan, but my plan ain't unfurl. I'm watching this beautiful world burn. It's all in vain. The solution was in my brain. I had the crowd on my arc, but I ain't bring my rain. Had the ball in my court, but I ain't bring my game. And the guilt and the stress, they are killing me to death, Nanny. I was supposed to stop this. I've seen our future, and it was not this. If I could go back into time and catch him while he's tracking design, I'd scream out, God, you're picking the wrong prophet. I'm sorry, but I'll fail you. He said, my child, quitting's a sin. We have eternity. We'll do it till then. He said, I'm going to see these rappers and these martyrs fall again and again and again if I don't win. So I discussed it with my mother and my father. And Typhon just said, forget it, I wouldn't bother. Echidna said she's waiting on a grandson or daughter. We're going to sit and await the slaughter. Go and bring us children. We need a grandchild. That baby's going to need a mother. Mom. And you're a monster. You got to find someone to love you. Mom. If they ain't get Pac when we send them, they don't get another. If they don't want to listen, just let them kill each other. I said, I can't give up. not on a whole people, not when their origins are so regal. And the people controlling their world, Mom, they are so evil. She said they'll crucify you. Yanyo, they won't believe you. I looked my parents in the eye and said the day that I die, I owe an explanation to everyone inside. So if I'm not around long enough to see my kids, tell them 2 words. I tried if I don't win. See, as I walked through the alleys and depths, I met a man who'd made a home in the valley of the shadow of death. Said he could tell me what to hope for and how to expect. I need to learn from my mistakes and be proud of the rest. Take things to heart, never down to the chest. People are faker. The tool that runs the world, as he handed me some paper. I said, what does it stand for? He said gold. I said, that means nothing. He said, I know, but they fell for it. People yell for it, go to jail for it. People kill their family and go to, well, for it. Then I'll break it. I'll learn it, and I'll make it, and I'll earn it, and I'll take it, and I'll burn it. Out of this frying pan, racing straight into the furnace. Tell my mother that I love her, but that girl I found is death. She's really flirtish. Tell my father not to bother. I'm a rider. I don't give. Save me a place to rest my head if I don't win.
Ooh, it's a little breathy. Jeez,
Yeah.
Jeez.
So that's one of the tracks on there. It's a little heavier, but I like it. I wrote it. I began it right after my grandma passed recently, and she was really one of the biggest inspirations in my life. So I thought it was something I could do for her. And then, of course, the conversation with my parents and all of just my perceptions on how this world runs.
As we have mentioned multiple times, if you haven't picked up on the hints so far, we are a bit of nerds, and you may have noticed a fantasy reference or application here and there. And yes, it may be that we relate our lives as if they are fables with morals to them, but
I'm a storyteller.
Yeah, we just choose to view reality in a slightly different way.
I was actually Aesop in a different life. My stories were way better back then, though.
Oh, man. I had such a good name then, too.
I think you're taller than he was.
A little bit. But people were shorter back then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all
You'll fit
perception.
right in. You're all good.
Bam!
Ooh, I meant good. Yeah, good.
And that's
I'm
2
tall
chains.
on the radio.
Hey!
On radio, I'm 6'10".
I'm 5'6" on a good day. We're on radio. I'm 5'8" on a. Dang it!
Remind me
Dang
off
it.
air to tell you a funny story about a guest I had on the radio who just remind me off air.
Gotcha.
Just in case he's listening.
All right. No fair.
So, Grant,
Maybe
did
I
you
take
want to
a
go ahead and do one of your spoken word pieces?
My spiel thing. Have I even related? Like, my name's Grants. I'm from town here as well. First Urbana, then Champaign, Savoy. I lived out of the country about a year and a half. Have a Spanish degree, so I use that as a very lovely excuse to go and pick up a language that I could hopefully use for the rest of my life. But while doing all that, I came up with a lot of writing over the course based on existentialist stuff, a lot of self-reflection, things like that. One thing in particular that I really liked that I actually got to perform this past summer, Cranert, this Center for Performing Arts here in town. It's a lovely place, and I happened to know the engagement director. He was a family friend, He actually saw him at an open mic, and I was like, what are you doing? Sam. And he's like, well, I'm here looking for people. We got a show going on, and wound up actually getting to be a part of it. So did this. It was for a citywide show. They were giving out awards to people in the community who were promoting synergy or doing things to help each other. And so this was what I performed there. It's called Circle of Life. Mentally, I shiver and shake with anticipation, but physically I sit here and wait. I guess for a proclamation to go out and seize life by the reins, but who knew that just like the bucking bronco, it had to be tamed? So that's what they were saying all along. So if I am wrong, I'm going to still play the game and roll the dice, because if I don't take this chance, I may not get it twice. After all, ain't that just the circle of life? But now to stop circling, I'll tell you what we're working with. This is what I see it's worth. I've been besmirched by my very own mind and lost in the daily grind. I spared no spare time for my very own mind and what I could be. Amazing. Now can't you see this picture I am painting? How could I realize when lofty dreams cloud my eyes that even I didn't believe in I? My drive was lost from apathy. 'Twas all of my projects, my future, and my path. Can't you see? This would surely be the death of me. But wait. Suddenly, I remembered who I am and what I could be, who I ain't and what I should be. I've got this. yes, I mumbled half-voicedly. The logic seemed quite simple. You see, if it all came from nothing, then everything is in front of me. That was Circle of Life. Really enjoyed doing that, actually, at the place. I hadn't gotten to do that too often, but got a fair reaction from it, so it's kind of nice.
I had said, oh, my mic is off. But I can tell you, I just can't tell anybody on the radio.
Yeah, there's that mic.
That would have been a perfect time to tell my story. No, we had a group maybe 6 to 8 weeks ago. I want to say it was early December. And it was a collective, a lot of them. And they did a lot of spoken word. And I said it would be nice to have spoken word on again. But is this suddenly a thing where, I mean, I know about poetry slams and I know about open mic nights, but
right.
I know we have never had back-to-back months with
Consistent.
spoken word.
Right.
And I didn't even know that if we'd told Mike, hey, book a whole bunch of spoken word, that he could have done it on a bet.
I don't even think he came to us expecting us to do spoken word. I honestly don't know what entirely he expected from us, but what I would say is you definitely see spoken word more in cities and the places where you have the higher density populations, especially because it is something that people can appreciate, but it's hard to get a crowd for that event. And so when you only have, 2, 3 spoken word talented people, you can't fill up 2 hours with that. I mean, even plays have intermissions. You can't go to spoken word and just sit there and listen to it all. I mean, we tell you we did that 2.5 hour play, but we look back on it and we're like, oh man, we loved that, we loved that, we loved that. Man, it moved some slow in that last half. It's just
something that still stings to me is back around 2005. I was friends. We had them on several times on web sessions. There was a new wave band in town, and every time they went to clubs to get booked, they said, "Well, you need to find a couple more new wave bands, or we can't have you play." And it's like, well, I've been to shows where they had rock and
every band
indie
was
rock
different
and metal, and they didn't all sound like one Osmond and another Osmond and another Osmond, but there's this idea that, we're afraid of booking something unless we have 2 exactly matching kitchen appliances in the same shade of white, and eggshell or.
In all fairness, if your walls are eggshell and your cabinets are cream, we got problems.
Yes.
You deserved whatever happened. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but I hope you trip down the stairs and cry yourself all the way home. Sorry, that's some say too far.
But I have said if people feel something is underrepresented on web sessions, it's probably that we haven't had people representing that
in the area necessarily.
offer to be on, apply. So I'm digging this.
Well, for me, I think as far as spoken word goes, I genuinely got introduced to it at Def Poetry Jam, which is a program that Russell Simmons had a while back.
That's definitely where it fostered my love for it as well. Sorry, go on.
Well, it's like, I mean, I knew about it, but I wasn't really that into it. But I've been doing music for a while now, and as you go through music, you stop just making music and you start to set goals. I want to do this with a song, or I want to perform a song this way, things of this nature. And your views kind of change as you do performances and you realize how you have to interact with crowds, things of this nature. And for people who make, quote unquote commercial music, it's all fine and well. Me, I began as a musician because that's kind of where I was routed at a younger age, because there really wasn't much else.
It felt right. It was the culture. It's what your friends were doing. There's just, you just did it.
Yeah.
For me,
now I'm starting to think I'm more of a speaker. And while people listen, sometimes they don't really listen. And I find that with spoken word and the things most important to you, generally if you do it without a backing track, they kind of pay a little bit more attention, or at the very least, they let it seep in.
I can't tell you how often I play somebody a song, not a particular somebody, but a somebody.
Right.
And I'll say, how did you like the lyrics? Oh, I don't listen to lyrics.
Every time.
And my vision blurs.
Well, that's the thing is I'm a musician, so they're like, oh, I didn't listen to the lyrics. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm totally glad I spent the time writing that then.
Of the craft. Oh,
man, I could have saved a lot
nights.
of time. Ah, well.
Do-wah diddy dum diddy do.
Hey.
In all fairness, that was super fly.
Not everybody can do it like Diddy.
Not everybody can scat like that.
Not everybody can be like Diddy. Oh, man. do you want to do a little bit more while we're feeling it? I will say once again, if you miss anything we do tonight, or if you don't hear the details of anybody we're trying to hype up or do anything like that, once again, we are trying to start a group that organizes all this. I mean, right now up on it, we're also trying to promote WEFT while we're on here.
Or you could take the opposite tack and say, like the cover-up, if you missed tonight, tough.
Bam!
You missed it forever.
You know what? I'm just going to take Todd's advice here and say, it's a cold show for everybody.
Hey, man, that happens. But the cover-up, man, that's not an event you just want to
my
miss
goodness.
sometimes.
You probably should see the cover-up this coming weekend if you haven't. This past weekend was pretty killer.
What's tough for me is it's 5 nights this year, and 3 have already happened. So, I can tell people you better be at well, technically, we have a policy that you can't order people around on the radio. You can. But
I would suggest
You can make strong
highly
suggestions.
encourage.
But when it's, Thursday and Friday and Sunday and
every day, all
not
the other
everybody's
things.
schedule allows you to make all 5 nights.
No, but you can make one.
Oh, well, yeah, if you don't make one, then you're just not trying.
If you don't make
Or
one, you
you're
end
out
up
of
as that
town.
guy going,
Right.
what's the
That's what we
cover-up?
talked about earlier.
Yeah,
You don't wanna be that guy.
You move to Maine, I understand if you don't
Reasonable,
make it
I
out.
guess. What are you gonna do?
But they have one in Chapel Hill too. So if you moved closer to there, go to that one.
All I'm saying, Greyhound tickets are not that expensive.
They've gone up.
But all right.
They've gone up recently a lot. So
bring your pepper spray. But
compare Greyhound and Amtrak and your buddy with a van or something
Fair
like
enough.
that.
Hey, Amtrak has White Castle at the back of it. That's not even a comparison.
oh man,
I should have gone on to the next car. Clearly.
I'm saying, slam some sliders, take a nap.
What are you gonna do?
Hey, man,
So-
Amtrak has left me stranded so many times.
Yeah, I not to hate on anything in particular, but I don't have good memories of Greyhound either. To be fair, it was mostly due to the car breaking down in Georgia and having to take one back at the age of 12 overnight. But that beyond the point, really.
My Amtrak thing was just that
Wasn't
we
comfortable.
took Amtrak out near St. Louis, and then my buddy's dad just decided not to show up. It's just,
So it's not really Amtrak's fault.
no, it wasn't their fault at all. But it would have been really nice to be able to turn around and get back on. And then the killer, here's the kicker. We call him, and he doesn't pick up. So we're walking around Metropalia or something like that
A
for
small enough town.
about an hour.
He did not remember the name.
Finally, he calls us back, and he's like, "Oh yeah, well, just call the police. They'll bring you home." Awesome, good plan,
You know what they say? You can't choose your friends, but you can choose your relatives. Choose better next time.
man. That was a summer.
Sorry, Dad, you're not getting reelected.
Some
Man, those
days are better
campaigns
than
would be
others. You can't win
brutal.
them all.
Mudslinging,
Tell
all
them I
that.
tried if I don't win. I don't know if you missed that earlier. All right, tag. That's all right.
So I could probably do the fade.
You want to do the fade?
You do
probably
that, and I'll
do
tell
that.
people to check out you doing the fade.
Okay.
Cool.
You want to cue me up, G? You want to cue me up?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this is one of the ones we actually do have a track with us. We have tons of music we've been working on over the past couple of years. Unfortunately, we work with like 5 different people. So we have, this project there, this project there. I happen to have whatever I happen to have with me tonight. So we're going to...
And we've made quite a bit, but it's not all necessarily radio acceptable. So yeah, we have to pick and choose. It happens. So this next one's called The Fade. As I mentioned before, I am a gamer nerd, so this one is actually inspired by a game I played called Dragon Age. The Fade is just kind of this realm where dreams come from, and you never really know when you're there. You guys have woken up from a dream and not been able to remember it. But all of this is basically the grand metaphor of taking what you can do in the dream world and making something better out of it.
Making it reality.
We living in the fade. All the sleep we waste be in the fade. Homie trying to see through chafe, he in the fade. Knowing all the dreams we chase be in the fade. So I'ma sleepwalk until I'm made of the fade. All the sleep we waste be in the fade. Trying to see through chafe, he in the fade. All the dreams we chase be in the fade. So I'ma sleepwalk until I'm made. Check it. I grew up, a child screw up, an outcast misfit full of mindless self-indulgence, and I knew but couldn't escape the fate of all the teasing, taunting, wheezing, walking, running from from bullies mocking my bleeding heart, they wouldn't stop it. But I don't mind at all the beatings and jokes said. It taught me that I could retreat to my own head. I'd Superman off into a world ever so slightly different, but plain and the same. And there they're all like me, politely and nicely with kick merry rhymes. It's very asinine, but when I crack one, they laugh every time. There, man, I'm barely alive, but I live more in those minutes than hours here, and it feels like jail. It's a life sentence, so I spend it writing sentences. Nights with women, lights, and inventions. Pen, paper's the way I make my adventures live. And I don't want to make it seem I live this waking dream, but every time I close my eyes or blink, I make a scene in the fade. All the sleep we waste be in the fade. Homie trying to see through chafe, he in the fade. Knowing all the dreams we chase be in the fade. So I'ma sleepwalk until I'm made of the fade. All the sleep we waste be in the fade. Trying to see through chafe, he in the fade. All the dreams we chase be in the fade. So I'ma sleepwalk until I'm paid. Look, I don't know, man. Let's kind of quell this one. This one's kind of long. It's kind of long, but that's basically a little snippet of what I used to do. That's a song like that. I think I wrote that one around 16. Me personally, I'm about 25 now, and I say about because my age varies based on what I'm dealing with. I ended up, my buddy sent me to the gas station to pick him up some cigarettes because he didn't feel like going. Now, he's older than me, so I run to the gas station because it's around the corner, and I get all of the stuff, and I'm coming out, and he's coming out of the house, and he's halfway down the street. I guess he was going to meet me there, but we meet in the middle of the street, and I hand him the cigarettes, and all of a sudden a cop just throws on the berries and cherries and swings it up on the median, hops out of the car, and she's like, "How old are you?" And I was like, 18. That cop scared years off my life.
Throws up the berries and cherries.
Berries, you know what the berries and cherries are.
I don't get arrested very often, so I'm not.
Whoa, throwing around implications.
Hey, I don't get arrested very often either. I just get pulled over a lot.
I also don't drive very often.
Okay.
I try to avoid it. Don't give them a reason.
So berries and cherries. We're not talking granola, are we?
We're not talking crunch berries.
This has nothing to
Crunch
do with
berries
your
are
delicious,
so much better than Cop
breakfast.
Lights.
No.
So handcuffs? That's what I got out of that.
No, berries and cherries.
So
that's just
they rolled
lights.
up because they thought
Yeah,
he
she
was getting
swung
it
up
for
on the
an
median,
underage
threw the
friend.
lights
Yeah.
on. She's like, "How old are you?" I was like, 18.
18.
I'm 25 years old.
I have a new expression when I want to sound like I'm with it.
Berries and cherries. Hey, man. The thing I've learned about being with it is
the berries and cherries. Book it.
Yeah, what is
you
it?
Don't ever put book it in with anything.
I found my old
the
book
key.
it button while I was home over Christmas. It had the stars on it and everything.
I like Cheez-It. But
Hey.
I'm a huge Bender fan. So.
Cheez-It's something
you
we
gonna do?
also need to talk about after the show.
Cheez-Its?
I had
I'm
an
gonna have to start a
amazing
list of this
Cheez-It
stuff.
and
This is
Jaleel
getting-
White conversation. I just keep revisiting
Say no
it.
more.
Now, this is what's advertising your show tonight. So let me make sure I have the URL for the other so that I can link that.
Appreciate it.
Tell me one more time.
That is going to be the roofpresents.tumblr.com.
The Roof.
Roof, depending on how you would like to
Yes.
pronounce that. ROOF PRESENTS.
Probably precarious for me to be holding this with one
I
hand.
was a little impressed. He's, you guys clearly can't see this at home, but he is holding a 10-pound laptop one-handed while championing through other hand. Yes, exactly. That's the page. So you can go to the Tumblr there, or if you do have Facebook, you can always go there. Search
I
for
like
us.
that you said if.
Bam.
People just assume, and I feel so marginalized and
you don't-
disenfranchised and anthropomorphized
Hey,
and
we're all friends here. This is safe. This is a safe place, Todd. We can hug this out. It's gonna be okay. No, why are you guys laughing? I don't. All right. Well, if you don't have a Facebook, we do have the Tumblr there. It is specifically made to try and cater to audiences who either don't know us personally or who can't come to shows in Champaign-Urbana.
which would be a lot of my long distance listeners discovering
Yeah.
you as we speak.
Hopefully, yes. I've also got a friend mentioning the roof here. We are trying to promote art, but community art, people we know, things like this. I do have a friend who started publishing his own art magazine in Ecuador. We're trying to do multiple language content. So if you do like Spanish, you're a fan, or you're trying to get your skills up, your chops up.
If you
good
don't
place
like
to
it, but you
start.
speak it anyway.
And the nice thing is it's also graphic art. So you don't just have to, but that'll also be found on the Tumblr. That'll be found on Facebook. Links to that. El Monociclo is the name of that publication.
So one more thing.
Yes.
D apostrophe Angelo?
DEANGELO.
All
Yeah.
one word, one capital, no more capitals?
D is capital, A is capital,
No space.
no space.
Correct.
D'Angelo, and is it Grant or Grants?
Grant.
Okay, I swear I heard an S at some point, but
No, he's just pointing out my list, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate that, Todd, but
Hey.
I've been going for years trying to hide it. Thank you for
I
having
learned
me
my
on the radio.
Spanish in
That's-
Spain, so the list is a plus.
Right. It came once I started practicing Spanish. Right.
It's not Madrid, it's
exactly.
Madrid.
Barcelona.
Yes.
Exacto. Let's see. Wow.
I speak German. I don't even
By
know what
the
you guys
way,
are talking about.
If you are from Spain, I did not just say that with that heavy of an accent.
No,
'cause you do not talk
I
like
had
that.
a
I'm
teacher
sorry.
who'd be very proud of you.
Oh, jeez.
He
I
said
have some
that if
teachers
you
that would do the
don't speak
opposite.
Spanish with the lisp, he has some very
It's choice words for you.
potentially offensive things to
All
say
right.
about your not using the lisp correctly.
To each his own. All right.
Potentially offensive. That's my favorite phrase now.
Now, I'm not racist, but
Okay, you know what?
it's a race to ism.
This is
Whoa, where's
fantastic
this going?
because I think that's the
Is
first
that-
time I've heard somebody say I'm not racist, but and stop.
And
If everybody stopped there,
Wow.
we'd have a better world.
ladies and gentlemen, just to highlight once again how that's supposed to go. I'm not racist, but I'm gonna stop there. There you go. That's how you do it. That's how you follow up on that.
I don't want to be
Fantastic.
supportive of the Nazis, but
But
Done.
what are you gonna do? They're really good artists.
No.
Their propaganda was really. Oh.
yeah, somebody told me once, like, if you don't mind the like pro-Nazi sentiment, and it's like, moving on.
It's like listening to the songs. If you're just watching, man, they're really into what they're doing. All right.
So, G, I think you're up. I did the fade.
I think it is my turn. All right. Well, musically, if I was going to play some things with a backing track, it would be things from old bands or things that I would not be singing over. So, Todd, what do you feel like? Would you like to see me perform, or would you like to see something I have performed and recorded?
I'm just glad you don't want me to do the background.
That was the second. Is that not? All right.
Preemptive veto.
Appreciate it. Yeah, whatever.
So the question is something you've either,
Just going to play, or that I would perform and it would have no backing?
if you're comfortable doing that, I would say go for it.
Without the playing?
If you can do
Yeah.
a cappella.
Yeah.
We're masters of this, man.
I don't know if we've said the word bard at least 5 times yet. We'll pepper that in as best we can, but we'll see how it goes. All right, well, let's do another spoken word piece here then. This one is for... this is one of the original things that I ever wrote. This was quite a few years ago when I went to Ecuador, actually, and I was there for 10 months. I was there for about a month or so, and I've had quite characteristically terrible luck with women throughout my life, in particular with the friend zone idea. And indeed, after being there for a month, I had become quite close friends with a girl, and I thought things were leading someplace, and they were not. So I went home, and out of my frustration, thus I'm a writer, the whole suffering thing, I went home and wrote this kind of all at once. So hope you like it. Hopefully this will be relevant to those of you who have been friend zoned as well. It happened again. Another romance found. Don't want to be just friends, but things can't be rewound. And things ain't never going down. It seems when I'm part of the round, I've got the means, but the motives just ain't been found. I just wind up getting the friend crown. They say there ain't nothing to it, and they say chivalry is dead, but I can't get through it. I can't get that out of my head. I guess I never knew it before. Nice guys do seem to finish last. There is more truth to it than I'd once thought in the past. A girl tells me I'm missed, but won't talk to me the next day. Dang, that was fast. Just another last, but at least I didn't pay. Ha! At least I can see clearly now, and the rain is fun, but girls, you can take a bow, because this show is done. Now, that's not to say that nice guys never finish, but I bet there is someone who witnessed this unfair. They're moving between them faster and faster. Should someone find a cast or something, because the way they're tearing themselves up, we're going to need something stronger than plaster. Now, they say it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all, but I never coveted the loss nor coveted the fall, and the climb wasn't that great either. Merely the idea. I think I might choose neither, get on over to IKEA. Cause if I got the things, then surely they'll flock to me. A swell guy with dreams, a real gentila. Sort of guy with mean schemes, but never put into action, cause that sort of passion ain't what I be after. I ain't looking for devastation and disaster, just someone to have and to hold till faster and faster. Who we were became not so bold, ghosts like Casper, but I guess that is just too much to ask for. That's one I wrote a while ago.
That is
Hopefully-
some teenage angst.
so much teenage angst, and it's had years to develop. I can only tell you, it's only gotten darker. Only gotten.
Hey man,
Thankfully-
the friend zone ain't pretty, but there's chips. there's chips and there's soda. So.
And a hug around every other corner.
Oh yeah,
I'm not
dude,
gonna lie.
everyone in the friend zone
Not
will give
every
you
corner,
a hug.
but there's every other.
Now you have to do that in Spanish for everybody in Ecuador with the list.
Vale, entonces, no. Unfortunately, I am not that good.
I would have just left,
yeah.
dude. Rapid Spanish makes my mind glaze over. I can't handle it.
I used to be quite fluent by the time I was out of Ecuador, but geez, I've not had many chances to use it in the past.
You
2
lived in
years.
Ecuador?
For 10 months I was there, yeah.
So you actually at some one point could have taken up our challenge.
No, this dude's a beast.
So I'm well, when a self-described
bestia,
mage refers to somebody as a beast, I don't know how to take it.
I can still hit him with thunder.
Fair enough, me parece justo.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep commenting in Spanish, by the way.
No, this is fantastic.
Cool. Yeah,
I don't
no,
know that
just-
anybody out there
just
is
prep.
understanding it, but I'm loving it.
We're enjoying ourselves. Cool. Fantastic.
I always say if the guests on WEFT sessions enjoy themselves and don't do $10,000 in damage, it's a good show.
Hey, we can still put on a show tomorrow. Always I.
Is there
Hey,
an
man.
open slot tomorrow, Mike?
Ideal.
People out here
All
don't
right.
get that sometimes. We work with a guy. He runs Shade Light Studios, and he has, we have all kinds of materials for people to use. We love helping people put on shows.
Yeah.
And then, we bring our staging, and all of the bands stomp holes in it. Like,
Right.
You're not kidding about that damage thing.
Oh, no, I was... I think the first time I ever attended a WEFT sessions, when I was not even a WEFty, as we call ourselves, I had a
We'll
ticket.
circle back to that term.
We're
I
gonna
had
come back to that. but go
a
on.
ticket to see the Vines at Follinger
Really?
Auditorium, and it was not a cheap show. Somebody had gotten me a ticket, and
Good to have friends.
my plane was delayed, and I didn't know the show was also delayed. And I think I'd broken a bone on the ice recently, so
That was a bad week for you.
I did
Go
not.
hard, Todd.
I did not want to risk crossing the ice, running across town to get there for the last encore.
Right.
And I just stayed for WEF sessions. And I later heard that the Vines completely ruined the wooden floors and did 5 figures in damage. And this was before the singer, I think, was diagnosed with something bad and parted ways from the rest of the group. But I still love the Vines' debut album, and I credit not being at that show with not ruining them for me.
Well,
Okay.
coincidences of life. Thank you. Thank you, life, for good looking out. Sometimes the bad is not so bad in retrospect once you get past.
It's like when you meet your favorite artist and you find out he's super short. Like DMX was always one of my favorite
I thought we
people.
weren't going to talk about that anymore.
Hi, we're off the height topic.
Tell me that DMX is like the angriest person in the universe.
He
know.
is just lording it
I
over
know
us
none of you
tonight.
can see any of this, but Black
I'm not
Mage is
even
the
that
only
tall.
average height person in the room right now.
Lori's reasonably tall.
And Of the people on the mics.
Did you see only one, I believe only one Munchkin is surviving after last week?
What?
One of the 2 surviving Munchkins died and at 90-something, and there's one
I'm
left.
sorry, we're referring to Wizard of Oz, right?
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah.
If
okay.
we're not, then I just got
Mikey
into a
Werner.
conversation without realizing it.
That happens.
He didn't say you would mention Munchkins, but he said you might mention.
Well, I meant the donuts, not
Oh,
the
all right.
actors.
My apologies. That was
Munchkins
a
are
bold
donuts?
assumption.
Doesn't
too.
Dunkin' Donuts call their
Is
holes
that-
Munchkins or something? I swear Munchkin is a product at some donut shop.
I don't even remember the last time I had a donut hole.
I'm that same boat.
We mostly live
We don't
off
get out
ramen.
much.
I've rendered the
I don't
spoken
know
words.
if you-
Yeah.
Some things are a cup of tea. You know, tea's not necessarily among those. That's a bad reference. That's it's not.
Should have just went with soda.
Should have just gone with
Me and my buddy used to have
Better
these
safe than sorry.
all-night game
You
sessions.
mean tonic?
What? No.
Well, I could have said pop, but that would just be.
Oh
cliche.
man, I dated a girl from Texas who hated that. Every time I said it, she'd be like, "Pop, really? Pop."
I did my
All right.
orientation at the university, and my student group leader said there were pop machines, and I went, "Oh, that's so cute! Do that again." You're serious.
Yeah.
Did you? Was,
I love
Was
this
it
place.
afterwards where you're like, "Oh, I said that out loud"?
I think I caught myself mid-sentence and realized she wasn't making a Leave It to Beaver reference, but I had a class with her later, and that's, again, something we can discuss.
Now,
off air.
question: you're from
Nice.
Champaign, right?
Define from.
Like, how long have you been here?
You define from.
I came here from Georgia, so when you were talking
right.
about no,
The trip.
I have adopted Champaign. I like it a lot here, but
Fantastic.
How
I
did
got,
it feel when you first got here? Did it feel like
people actually used the word pop and weren't kidding?
okay? Well, like that same girl I was
You're-
talking
you're from
about. You've
Atlanta,
been here
Georgia?
for our Sweet Corn
Where-
Festival, right?
I've been to the Sweet Corn Festival many times. It's the only one I've ever been to where you have to pay for the corn.
Hey, it's hard. It's a recession out here.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? People gotta
Oh.
eat. Come on,
No,
Todd.
that girl I dated from
Come on.
Texas, when she got here, she's like, I saw banners for the Sweet Corn Festival. And what is that? Do people drive around in blue trucks and hand out corn? I was like, what do we look like to you? Like, that's why I want to know. When you first got here, did you really get that impression? Like, that we all had, like, hay in our teeth? And, like,
I came here from Georgia, so everybody asked me what it was like living in the Ozarks and nobody owning shoes. So I got the opposite.
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, wherever you come, there's always advantages and disadvantages.
It's like
They-
the
you
Ozarks
always have
don't
them.
really cross into Georgia a whole lot.
All right.
You know,
Can you point
you
out Georgia on a map? That's it. Second question.
the Georgia, the former Soviet Republic, or the now you
The
brought up
state or-
corn, and you reminded me of a video game reference that I almost shared earlier in the show, and I only share it because I think you might actually appreciate
He
it.
came
Okay.
back for you.
After 22 years of wanting to try, 32 years of wanting to try Super Pac-Man.
Oh, wow.
I played it last night, and the 6th level, the board is ears of corn. And Pac-Man is going around the board eating ears of corn, leaves and cobs and all, as the 4 monsters, they're not ghosts, they're monsters.
Inky, Blinky, Pinky,
Right.
and Clyde.
It's either Clyde or Sue, depending on which, I think
Version of
Sue
the
is just Ms. Pac-Man, so you would be correct.
I can't
But-
believe they had names.
But yeah, the
Gamers go
corn, that's what I was thinking of before you even brought that up about the Sweet Corn Fest, so I figured it was...
Always make your video game / comic reference. It's always appreciated.
I hope the guest next week feels that way when I do the same.
If they don't, let me know.
Well,
Who is the
hopefully
guest
we'll be
next
listening.
week,
We'll
Mike?
appreciate it.
Johnny May
May.
is going to get lots of references to what Super Pac-Man eats after he's
Prepare
energized.
yourself.
Stop playing music.
Well,
They won't stop.
I'll just mute them.
Todd runs out here, and in the middle, just wanted to say real fast.
Public service announcement. He is now eating donuts.
Thank you, Todd.
He is now eating fried eggs. Burger time.
And now back to
I'm glad somebody's
Todd. What are
enjoying
you
this.
doing to me? All right. Well, we couple things wanted to mention that we haven't so far. We've mentioned a couple of things so far that I'd like to go back to. In particular, the studio that we do a lot of work with, that does a lot of stuff around town. They're the one who owns and operates the studio that we work with, Shadelight Studios, SLS, run by Blackie Green, Ross Robinson, a good friend of ours, and he's the one who taught me all the stuff that I was talking with Mike over here in the sound booth about headphones, all that good stuff. But he's also a mad scientist, and it's fantastic. You go over into the studio, and it's in his house, of course, and you go through and you walk into the studio, and it's the entire bottom level of the house. Which, if you walked into the beginning, you'd be like, oh, yeah, studio, there's equipment there. Now you walk into, and without the equipment there, you're like, oh, I just walked into a studio. This is completely different, and he's done all of it by hand himself.
For some reason, however, whenever I'm walking down those stairs into it, in the back of my mind, it's going bum, bum, bum,
Is it anything like when Willy Wonka opens the doors and you have the waterfall?
Oh, my God. I was expecting something different. I don't know.
My favorite part of that is you can actually, on the giant, I think the gummy bears you can actually see the valves where they're inflated.
Yeah. You do. Production has taken
Gene
quite
Wilder.
a transition over the years.
Gene Wilder, by the way,
Amazing.
with the most memeable face ever.
We won't hold that against him.
Also,
No, it's perfect. Like, I'm so glad Gene Wilder is not gone. Like, he's still with us in spirit,
Oh.
and Willy Wonka
Well, he-
poses.
Isn't Gene Wilder still with us in body as well?
too?
I mean, how much do you really see him is what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
Like, unless you're
He
watching
doesn't get
some
out much,
throwback
come on.
Richard Pryor,
He's
you
not-
ain't catching a whole lot of Gene Wilder nowadays.
Jeez.
You know, he had his own sitcom.
How'd that work out?
It lasted 3 or 4 weeks.
See what I'm saying? He had his own sitcom. And he was great. He's just...
I don't know about you. I'm doing Gene Wilder at the cover-up.
Really? And what day is that going to be? That's going to be
Not one of the days on the schedule this year.
Saturday. By the way,
Gonna wait till
Saturday is
last
not
call.
a
I'm gonna be
day,
like,
just
hey,
in
here's the
case.
song from the boat.
I got a lot of odd influences. Real talk, though. I was thinking about doing Frank Sinatra at the cover-up one of these years or trying it.
The Emotional Rec
Oh,
Club
man.
did that,
Oh,
and
did
I'm
they?
really showing my
They got
age,
me.
remembering that was, wow, a very long time
Just
ago.
say it was a couple years ago. And
It
you'll
was a
be-
couple years
there
ago.
you go, Todd. What's up? I got your back. What's up?
It was when he first got here, and he's like, what's the great cover-up?
Yeah, I wasn't old enough to get in. I asked if I could play triangle on stage and drink a high C, as part of the deal.
You were the triangle guy in the band?
Well, I had a booster seat.
He did that.
I meant to laugh in my head. I'm sorry it came out loud. It was
Oh, you said pop.
really,
Oh,
I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. All of our private thoughts are being carried tonight.
you can do.
So, G, I
Yeah.
could maybe do All In. You have that one, right?
I believe, let me double check here.
I just noticed we're actually like past the first quarter of the show, so
Yeah, we have like 15 minutes left.
I told you we can ramble, like, for real.
Yeah.
Everybody,
you should be DJs.
I hear I have a voice for radio.
You know
I
what's so
also hear I
annoying?
have a face for radio.
You even have a height for not radio.
You know what? Like, you say that now, but I guarantee, like, I'm not that much taller than y'all. When I walk out there,
No,
I
no.
feel just like y'all.
The minute he turns off my mic, I lose 3 inches.
Okay.
It's terrible.
That's seriously. You want that group hug? We can make this happen. They can.
They can make this
This
happen.
is a safe place, Todd. Come on.
It is a safe place, though.
He's
I'll pat you on the back.
nothing weird.
Nothing weird.
Let's
No, we're
shake
just not
hands.
that
I'll
close
get
yet.
my gloves.
My hands are freezing cold. You don't want that. My hands
All
are
right.
always freezing cold.
Well, with the last bit here, I think we're going to. We planned a couple things. We'll do some shout outs, do some music if we may with this last bit of time. I think we're just going to do just a couple pieces and do
Let me
some shout-outs
caution two things.
Yes.
One, usually before the very last segment, we come back and promote you one more time. So
Leave time for that.
if you're expecting this to be the very last segment, then we should do that. But also, we're not going to cut you off at 10:59:59. So if you
yes, but there are cameras.
Much
You see, at the minute, I'm going to push him off screen. That is your cue to cut black.
there we go.
Just
I don't know
cut
about
it.
your contingency
Be
plan,
forewarned.
but mine involves a driver outside and
Ooh, quick getaway.
It's all good.
big bin of water balloons for those following. Water balloons? They have tax in them. What? Reference to Toy Man. No. All right. Okay. All right. So
I'll be back.
Anyway, we're gonna do this last bit here before we get into All In, which is another Black Mage tune here that we're gonna do. Once again, do just want to say we've got a lot of friends in the area that we want to promote, and not just them. We want to promote art globally. Multi-language, multinational, all that. We're looking for art that stays with you beyond just the moment you stay with it. You know, and that brings in a lot of different definitions into it, but that's kind of what we're going with. And that is, once again, the group The Roof Presents. You can find that at our Tumblr, theroofpresents.tumblr.com. But let's hit this up. I know Todd's running back out here.
Yes.
We'll do that at the end there.
So I'm going to get into this next one. This is a real throwback for me. I'm going to try to hold this one together because I'm doing it live. I've never done a quote-unquote censorable version of it, but I've been doing music for a while, so we'll try to make it work.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys picked up on that earlier, but he was doing things he had practiced hundreds of times, and he just changed words in the middle of it halfway through. So that's kind of disgustingly impressive. It's kind of sucks being his friend sometimes, but anyway, here's All In.
Hey, it sucks being me sometimes, but
What are you gonna do? Go all in.
okay. So let's see if I can still remember this one, because I really don't practice these. These are all older songs that I've made. Some of these, this one in particular, from high school, had to be like 7 years ago. So I'm gonna try to rock this one out. It's called All In, if you feel like it. I gotta go all in if I'm gonna make those tracks. Homeboy, I gotta take your stacks. The way your tracks have been laying, you should set on it. Show your cards, homeboy, but don't bet on it. I won't fold, and I won't flop when I turn a river of flow. Homie, no, I'm not. Blood, sweat, and tears till the best stand in victory. I show my hand and the rest, man, is history. It's been a long time coming. Track after track, I spent a long time running. You in my spot, you on the wrong guy's summit. I hope you fly, cause when I rip this thing in half, you gon' plummet to the earth, hit the dirt, and I'ma bury you. You can't even carry a tune, yo, auto-tune gotta carry you. I don't plan on sharing, so I'm daring you. Young cats is rugrats, what, black supposed to be a stare to you? If I'm gonna make those tracks, homeboy, I gotta take your stacks. The way your tracks have been laying, you should set on it. Show your cards, homeboy, but don't bet on it. I won't fold, and I won't flop when I turn a river of flow. Homie, no, I'm not. Blood, sweat, and tears till the best stand in victory. I show my hand and the rest, man, is history. Cause one of a kind's rocking a full house, boy, it's disgusting. Cause I'm full of king crab and royal flushes, plus crammed with the skills that I brandish. If you think your hand's explosive, you never met Gambit. Damn it, I've got crap for brains, but come quick. You've never seen a smart ass produce so much dumb. Yeah, ha. B major, yay, we major. M, we major. SOCOM, I'll major. Boom, blow it up when you bump my fists. All of you garbage rappers put together couldn't jump like this from coast to coast. The most that you have is 2 chances, slim and none. You can have them both. You riding toe to toes, no use. Man, he's trying to rope a dope with a noose. Damn, I guess he can hang and he swings if you push him. Somehow I don't think you understand. I'm gonna bring a damn rag mover. You rappers just suck, and when I break it, you rappers just bust. Cause I ain't here to make love. The book of Black Mage says his savior came with a great flood. So when you see me on your block with high waters and knee socks and chains, slave to a game, wading through the water, I'm just trying to keep the streets hot as your boiling pot. Fall in, bet I'm all in. That's how I roll. See, if I'm gonna make those stacks, homeboy, I gotta take your cracks. The way your tracks have been laying, you should set on it. Show your cards, homeboy, but don't bet on it. I won't fold, and I won't flop when I turn a river of flow. Homie, no, I'm not. Blood, sweat, and tears till the best stand in victory. I show my hand and the rest, man, is history. Yes. I love that song because I made that in like 30 minutes while watching a poker tournament. If you didn't notice, there were like 50
So many
poker terms, the
references.
river, the flop, like one of a kind, full house, royal flush. Like,
Flushes, just, oh man.
it was nuts. It was nuts.
Yeah, you said something about seafood and flushes, and I wasn't sure if I was interpreting it right. But
Seafood,
crab or lobster or maybe I missed it.
King. I'm full of king and royal flushes. I censor myself.
Ah,
He was, yeah.
I heard king crab and royal flushes. so-
Crap.
Yeah,
Although
Yes.
king crab is delicious.
I was gonna say,
Not gonna
you
say.
know,
And
I would be fine with king crab and royal flushes, but
he's also a really good Pokemon, but they call him Kingler.
Another reference.
Crabhammer's a beast. Sorry. I'm a strategist. What? I love Pokemon.
I'm a strategist.
I'm a strategist.
I came into this show with one goal in mind. I'm gonna
win. I brought.
that would be the most elaborate troll I think we'd ever had on the show. We're not a real project. We
What
just
can you say?
spent 53 minutes leading up to a single Pokemon reference.
Nerds go hard. We spent
It's really not a
past
game.
5 weeks. Yeah, we said we got this offer like days ago. No, Mike Ingram was like, by the way, 5 months from now, I may come to you. I'm gonna need you to prepare.
Well, I'm feeling so much better because I said to some regular listeners before the show,
Yeah.
they asked me about what to expect tonight,
Right.
and I said, you know,
You know what? You got super duper lucky because him, Mike, and a host of all of my other friends told me I was not allowed to get on here and make pirate noises for an hour because there's a chance that happens. You see this outfit I'm wearing, right?
I give you permission to do it for the next 6 minutes.
Don't do it, Todd.
I
No!
might run
No,
through
you don't know what you're
the
doing.
big book of pirate noises and terms because whenever I drink lots of rum, I actually keep, yes, that's how the story starts.
Cherries and berries. You're gonna learn another phrase.
I
today.
actually keep an
Pirate
eye patch
drunk.
and a hook hand on me. This is a true story.
See, I don't know whether you're my hero or I want you reported.
Oh
Maybe
man,
both.
you want to hang out with Blackjack the Pirate.
You do.
It's
gonna
actually
lie.
known in our
Fun
circle. If I
times.
pound the table twice, you have 6 seconds to get your drinks because I'm going to flip the table.
It's.
Which reminds me, I can go back to Blind Pig now.
Did I mention it's hard to go out places often?
You
Can't
mean
take 'em
together or
Yeah.
Hey, it's hard out here for a pirate.
he doesn't make you dress?
It's hard
He
out
doesn't
here
make
for-
you dress like Smee, does he?
No, he does his own thing.
anybody. No,
He does his own
'Cause I
thing.
think there's a nerd term for that, but it's not one I'm allowed to use on.
Right. That's another story for after. All right, cool.
We're gonna
List-
have to have
man,
you
this
back
list
for
is
just all the
huge.
stuff that we couldn't say on air.
Man, we're gonna
I
have
mean,
to.
you have no idea.
I mean, I could say it. It's clean and all. It just would require another hour of explanation for each anecdote.
Right.
So,
Right. And for the record, if I ever show up at your door with the hook hand and eye patch, don't answer it.
Just if he knocks,
Turn the light
just
back
don't.
off. Go to sleep.
It's
Your
not
night will be
worth it.
so much better.
It's not. You don't have time
So if
for
I
it.
don't answer the door, I don't have to worry about it.
That's
No, probably. Blackjack has a very short attention
he'll
span,
knock twice,
but
then
he
he'll
will
go.
suck you into his adventures if you give him a chance. So,
What are
Is
you
it
gonna
at
do?
least like the crocodile that ticks, where you get some kind of warning?
nope, you'll just hear tip, tip,
No.
tip, tip, tip,
No.
and then you'll look through
If-
the people and you'll see an eye patch.
And rum soaking through everything.
Yes.
Occasionally, you'll get someone 5 minutes beforehand, and it's just it's always a faint voice for some reason. It's just they're coming. Just run. It's Blackjack the pirate.
I'm for
I'm
real, this
glad you
happens.
clarified. I was thinking, Drew Barrymore in their back, but that's
yeah,
this is a little more comfortable.
cool. Glad to be of service.
You've never
That's
met
what I'm here for.
Blackjack.
This is a safe
Clearly.
place.
I'd
Todd.
take Drew Barrymore.
Can't reiterate that enough.
But then again, Drew Barrymore is pretty awesome anyway. I'd take her over a lot of things.
I'm thinking she's a little old for all of us, but I
Hey.
But she's also still Drew Barrymore.
and I like
What are you
Judge
gonna do?
Judy. So what room do I have?
Judge Judy.
You can judge me anytime you want.
Does she still have a show?
She better.
Judge Judy?
I
Aren't we
just saw her the
done
other
with
day.
the judge thing?
I'm not.
Some of those court shows are just ridiculous.
Oh sure, but
It's a huge circus, and
she
I like
still
the
has
real
a
circus.
few tricks to teach Judge Wapner.
what about Steve Wilkos? You know some Steve Wilkos?
I don't know who that is.
He was the bouncer from Jerry Springer that got his own show.
I know Doug Llewellyn.
Who?
He was a guy in the hall on the original People's Court.
Never watched People's Court.
Whoosh.
Me and my grandma,
Not allowed.
we
My
watched
hand going over my
Bonanza,
head
F
quickly.
Troop.
I just saw an entire Family Feud, and the winning question was name a character from Bonanza, and this family that had 0 won the whole game on it.
Yes.
Why?
And we're watching it, and we're like,
Why?
Michael Landon? What? He was on A Western, I think.
Across the way was an entire black family going, they got this.
Oh, the family that won was they were Asian, but they had a Dutch name. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. I don't
Is
think
it under the title Asian Family Dutch Name? Is that?
I think if you type in Slider with a J,
Slider.
of course you now know how it turns out, but it's amazing. the whole audience gasps when they know all the. Okay,
Whoops.
you have time for one more song, and
Appreciate
I
it.
apologize for
No, you're fine.
in any way taking this in directions that were beyond what you anticipated.
I have been on
but-
stage 3 times in the last week. I am so much happier just kind of chatting than doing song after song after song again because it's been a long week for this one.
Well, I would like to play back highlights from this show, but I'm not sure how I would type them into the computer because most of them maybe come up with titles. I don't know.
Ridiculous 1, Ridiculous 2, Ridiculous 3.
Use Roman numerals.
The moment we found out they were nerds. Moment number 5 where they referenced it. Moment number 10.
We still have to. I
Huh?
still have to give out who you are on your website one more time.
Yeah.
So let's see. D'Angelo without an apostrophe or a space,
Bam.
and Grant with the Roof Project, also at Black Mage on Facebook.
Yeah?
Yeah.
These guys
If you
have
can't
one
see
more.
It, Todd just did an amazing dance. I'm sorry you weren't here to witness it.
More
but-
recently, I've gotten him into Young Jeezy.
The
So,
spam I just deleted
Yeah.
was something
was-
about
is
nasty
his fault.
Christian angel hula porn or something like that. So
I'm sorry.
I'm sure
we clearly that's gonna have to go on the list for
the
after.
dance I
We
did
don't
was
have
not.
time.
You know what would
on
be
par with that,
amazing?
but what?
All of the government information that they keep secret is all under those spam titles.
I
So
bet.
you never click on it.
Right.
Boom. Blew your mind.
Why would I? I don't have an inquiring mind.
I don't want to see that. It's actually the cure for AIDS, like stuff like that.
It's Edward Snowden's entire file is tucked away under nasty Christian angel, so that only the tiki bar circuit.
Or nasty Christian angels. We'll see it.
All right. These guys have a
yeah.
few minutes to do whatever they want while I get the
Fantastic.
next hour ready. Stay tuned for a lot of local music from Jesse W. Johnson and everybody new last week. Stay tuned.
All right, so
Thank you very
5
much,
minutes
Todd.
of pirate noises?
That's hey, no,
Yar.
I said no.
Shar. I'm just saying. My fans expect pirate noises.
Hey, you know what? As your manager, that's brief preface. That is real, although we don't really take it very seriously, and I do now use it as an excuse for everything.
Yeah, he genuinely.
He's got a box of gummy
just
bears.
kinda does
As your
this for
manager,
me,
I'm going
so.
to need to make sure those aren't poisoned for you. I'm halfway through the box. Hey, you know, just to be safe, just.
As a public service announcement, I just need to make sure they're not the sugar-free gummy bears on Amazon.
Oh,
No.
no.
Okay.
These are Alphons, man.
Appreciate it.
Only a
I
Circle
didn't
K.
read the article, but I saw the warning and the post for it.
It's serious.
I'm wondering why anybody would eat
saw
sugar-free
the
gummy bears.
exclamation points in the amount of them and was, yeah. Oh.
There's a market.
What are you gonna?
I read where a
There's a
lot of
market.
people are ordering them for every member of Congress.
All right. Well,
Man,
for
they
this
need more
ending here,
hobbies.
not that we haven't been doing things off the cuff, but I think we are going to perform something that we do off the cuff. This is something we don't going to do as often as we honestly would like. We do show up at a lot of open mics and things and like force ourselves to take the long way walking because we figure out what we're doing on the way.
Yeah, I
but-
get on stage a lot of time and I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I'm looking at the iPod in my hand and I'm just flipping
What
through
do we
tracks,
got?
going,
That
"Yeah, I could do this
sounds good.
one."
I did
So-
that last one. All right. So I'm going to start this off. Right before I start it, though, just one last shout out. All the people we wanted to get through. A bunch of friends of ours, musicians in town, playing at the Iron Post this week, playing at Flying Machine. Flying Machine is doing comedy. Fluid Event Center every Monday. Tonight we missed it. It's a comedy show going out there. It's free. Check it out. Links and things are going to be posted up on the roof over the course of this week. Once again, we're trying to promote art in the area. roofpresents.tumblr.com, facebook.com/The Roof Presents. All right, I'm going to start this out here.
You dropping a beat?
Yeah.
Oh, he's dropping a beat. Okay, let's do this.
We're pulling the mic out for this one.
Oh, are we removing the mics for this one?
I don't know about you.
I get to walk around. Yeah, get your game face on. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is what we do when we get super bored. It's a good way to pass the time. All right, I got this one. It's like this. It's nothing. When you see him walking with Mage, it's nothing. If you see him rocking a stage, it's nothing. If you don't hear me, y'all, I'm saying that it's nothing. You ain't saying nothing. Check it. It's nothing. If you hear a shade light run it, it's nothing. If you don't see us, cause we coming, it's nothing. If we don't bring the house down, it's nothing. You ain't saying nothing. When I grab the pen and lightning strikes the steeple, when I feel the urge to write about the people, when I grab the mic, a life I'm about to speak on, but not just any life. It's the life of a leader. Believe me, it doesn't matter. I got soldiers to train. You need me, I'll be in battle till my clothing is stained. I'm not leaving until they're tattered, no poet remains. So I drill in my mind till there's a hole in my brain. You know, in the name, relax. What the polls have been saying, I'm going insane. But tracks, oh, I hold up the train, so I lay 'em like I'm Union. Play 'em a fine tune. If no enemy comes in peace here, they will just find ruin. I will be the undoing of all. If I fall, I'm not here to play with hipsters or ball. I make music, so if you could see this, if you could see this, then you would need to live. Cause check, it's nothing. When you see him rocking with Mage, it's nothing. If you hear him rocking the stage, it's nothing. If you don't hear us, all we saying is it's nothing. You ain't saying nothing. Check it, it's nothing. If you hear a shade light run it, it's nothing. If you don't see us cause we coming, it's nothing. If we don't bring the house down, then it's nothing. You ain't saying nothing.
It's nothing.
Thanks for having us here, Black Mage.
Thank you very much, everybody. Black Mage and Grant Alexander. I got quite a few aliases, but hopefully you'll see us around town and have a good night.
Yeah, we're not hard to find.